My guest is Hlengani Mathebula, who, according to the announcements, begins in an exciting new role as the Chief Officer for Strategy and Communications for SARS, but still, at this moment, as we speak, handling his responsibilities as Head of Strategy and Communications at the South African Reserve Bank. Hlengani, I know you have a wild streak, people don't know. I know your wild streak from your love of superbikes.
It's biking and mountain climbing. Both of those two things have a particular relationship with how I view life. Whereas with biking, the future or the horizon is much more important than the detail that you're looking at, because if you look down, you're going to fall. With mountain climbing, the next rock, if you don't look at it, you might just as well be on the ground.
So there's a story in there about perspective. Are those two stories reflective of your own philosophy in your life and the way that you've chosen to live?
If you look at where I come from, I say to people, I was destined to be something that nobody will have ever noticed. But I decided many years at a younger age to say I didn't want to have the life that I had or that my father had given me. I had always said my children must never be in the position I am, because whilst my father loved us all, he was working in Kimberley as a mine worker. He visited home once in a while. So we didn't have a relationship with him as we grew up. But despite the poverty that we went through, my view had always been there's always an obstacle, there's always a challenge, but that challenge always provides an opportunity through which you can be able to make your life better.
Growing up in Limpopo, your family was exceptionally poor, I understand. You crept into a truck at a very young age. You were very small. And this truck was going off to pick cotton and orange and work on the mango farms and so on.
If I climbed the truck and everybody realized me, they would have thrown me out. So I crept underneath the clothes so that no one noticed me. By the time they noticed me, we were somewhere around Toyando. It was too far to send me back. That was my first time I got fired in a job. When you are carrying a bag of cotton, you need to start from the beginning of the queue and load the cotton, and you don't stand up until your bag is full. So I was in this queue with a lot of other farm workers, and I saw when elder people were standing up, there was a boy in front there, which was a farmer's son, who would go and beat them up. Where I grew up, when a person at your age grouping beats up people, you fight. So what I decided to stand up every time. So he moved into my queue. He tried to take one shot. I gave him a little bit more than he bargained for, and I got fired from the farm. What it taught me is never to fear, because from there, in everything I've done, I don't fear being fired, because I have been fired before. Don't spend your life being afraid of the bad thing that might happen. Take the risk that is necessary to you to propel you to the next level.
I want to move to how you built up your educational stature. You said that was an important key.
If I only relied on my family, I would not have been able to be anything. I would not have even been able to go to school. I have had to take myself to school. But I need to really say thank you to the Dutch Reformed Church, because they are the ones that, after I could pay for myself to high school, they are the ones that took me to university, essentially. They took me to university, but they fired me as soon as I arrived there, because I did not listen, because I got involved in politics, and for what I was studying, I was not supposed to be involved in student politics.
How do you build up your own, your tenacity to fulfill the kinds of roles that you're called to do?
Always know that whatever situation you are in, there is someone in a worse position, and you can get over it. Today, I'm very different to that person that came from that village. Did not have a bed, did not have a shoe, did not have a trouser to go to school. I have very little time for people that are lazy. I have very little time for people that do not want to exact themselves. So I really don't have patience. People will tell you I sometimes am very abrupt because I don't have time for self-pity. My grandmother used to tell me, there's one thing in life that you must never forget, which is you were brought into this earth. You didn't choose who you were going to be born to. However, now that you are born, it is your responsibility to leave the world better than when you found it. So that's what drives me today. I don't care what it is going to take, but what I'm going to do is that when I leave this world, whenever I do, this world must be better through my humble contribution than when I found it.
Hlengani Mathebula, the incoming Chief Officer of Strategy and Communications at SARS. Thank you for being our Satrix Be Like.